From the Presidential Palace, Manila, Dateline Malacañang.
Good day. This is Dateline Malacañang in review. German Federal Defense Minister His Excellency Boris Pistorius on Monday paid a courtesy call to Philippine President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr. in Malacañang Palace. This is the first ever visit by a German defense minister to the country, as the Philippines and Germany mark 70 years of diplomatic relations. Earlier, Department of National Defense or DND Secretary Gilberto Chodoro Jr. and German Federal Minister of Defense Pistorius held a bilateral meeting as both nations have committed to sign a defense cooperation agreement this year in a show of unity to stand for the international rules-based order in the Indo-Pacific region. Secretary Gilberto and Pistorius committed to establishing long-term relations between both nations' armed forces to expand training and bilateral exchanges, explore opportunities to expand bilateral armaments cooperation, and engage in joint projects. In a press briefing, Secretary Chodoro said he is looking to engage Germany as a possible supplier to modernize the country's military to bolster its defense security. Chodoro said these are in the command and control, anti-access aerial denial, maritime domain, aerial domain, and in higher technologically capable equipment.
Dateline Malacañang.
Philippine President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr. challenged the new Career Executive Service Officers or CESOs to continue to reinvent themselves as civil servants to strengthen the government's long-term programs and vision for the country and the Filipino people. In his speech after administering the oath of the new CESOs, the President appealed to CESO members to continue to uphold the four core values in public service, namely patriotism, excellence, integrity, and spirituality. The chief executive also encouraged the newly appointed CESOs to provide quality and faithful service to the people. Let us listen to Philippine President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr.'s speech during the event.
Thank you to Executive Secretary Chief Luke Bersamin. Please take your seats. The honorable members of the Cabinet who are present with us today. Career Executive Service Board Chairperson, Secretary Carlo Nograles, newly appointed Career Executive Service Officers, the 2021, 2022, and 2023 Gawad Career Executive Service awardees, my fellow workers in government, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. It is with great pleasure that I join you today to recognize the achievements of our career executives and call on you to help in attaining our goals for a prosperous nation. The CES holds a profound significance in this administration. Established through Presidential Decree Number 1 during my father's incumbency. It stands as a cornerstone of our public administration. It is designed to cultivate a cadre of leaders who will foster a highly effective, efficient, and professional bureaucracy. Those were the very values that were demonstrated by four exceptional individuals who we have recognized today as our Presidential Gawad CES awardees. Regional Director Josefina Abilay, Assistant Secretary Teresa Camba, Schools Division Superintendent Miguel Apusin, and OIC Deputy Executive Director Eduardo Quilang. Your dedication to public service, to finding solutions to problems that beset our people, especially those in isolated areas, and to harnessing technologies available to us fortifies my faith once more in the career executive service. You have elevated the bureaucracy and truly transformed lives of those that you have served. Congratulations on being the worthy recipients of the Presidential Gawad CES. I am sure your achievements will serve as an inspiration to all CESOs present and those listening, because as public servants, our CESOs have the power to reform our government and our country. You are instrumental in creating a more inclusive and sustainable society for our citizens. So we continue to strengthen the CES. This year, we were able to increase the CES occupancy rate from 44% to 50% from the previous years. This is part of our target. This is part of our target under the Philippine Development Plan 2023 to 2028. So to our newly appointed CESOs, as you join this esteemed group and reaffirm your duties to provide quality and faithful service to the people, I would like to remind you that you have also taken on the Herculean task of upholding the highest ethical standards in your career wherever it is that you are serving. But that is what the CESB is for, and that is also what we are here for. The CESB ensures that career administrators will keep cultivating your potential and leave no room for stagnancy in our civil service. The bar is set quite high every single day, and for good reason. It is because your work affects millions of Filipinos and inspires generations beyond your tenure. And with that said, I greet all of you newly appointed CESOs with heartfelt congratulations for this achievement. This conferment not only completes your membership in the CES, but also confirms your strong sense of purpose that moved you to pursue this path. I challenge you to join me in reinventing ourselves as civil servants and the bureaucracy to provide the stability and continuity that we will need for our long-term programs and visions for them to succeed. Ladies and gentlemen, my dear colleagues, I ask you to continue to embody the four core values of public service, that of patriotism, excellence, integrity, and spirituality in everything that you do, so that this nation will prosper, thrive, and grow under your leadership and your guidance. Isang karangalan ang makasama kayong lahat sa paglilingkod sa ating mamamayan. Once again, congratulations to you all. Maraming salamat. Mabuhay ang bagong Pilipinas.
You just heard Philippine President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr.
Dateline Malacañang.
Philippine President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr. has congratulated Filipino gymnast sensation Carlos Yulo for his historic double gold victory in the 2024 Paris Olympics. On Sunday evening, Yulo ruled the vault final event to cop his second gold medal in Paris after a gold-clinching performance in the floor exercise event on Saturday. Yulo is the first Filipino to win multiple gold medals in a single Olympics. In a social media post early Monday, the president expressed elation for Yulo's feat. Aside from Yulo, female boxers Nesty Petesio and Ira Villegas are already assured of Olympic medals after qualifying in the semifinal round of their respective weight classes. The 2024 Olympics marks the Philippines' 100th year of competing in the Games and potentially the country's most successful stint ever. In the 2020 Tokyo Olympics edition, Team Philippines won 4 medals with 1 gold courtesy of weightlifter Kaidelin Diaz, 2 silvers and 1 bronze.
Dateline Malacañang.
Philippine President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr. on Tuesday ordered an adjustment to the target of building 6 million housing units by the end of his term in 2028. In a social media post, the president said the new housing target should be based on need and demand. The chief executive said to ensure that the Pambansang Pabahay para sa Pilipino or 4PH program is successful and sustainable, he has directed the concerned agencies to adjust housing targets based on need and demand until 2028. President Marcos held a sectoral meeting with officials of the Department of Human Settlements and Urban Development or DHSUD at Malacañang Palace in Manila on Tuesday afternoon to discuss the proposed sovereign guarantee to implement the 4PH program. In June, the DHSUD asked for a funding guarantee for the 4PH program to increase the confidence of government financial institutions in supporting it and attract the participation of private banks and institutions. Launched in September of 2022, the 4PH program aims to address the country's 6.5 million housing backlog by building 1 million units annually until 2028. DHSUD Secretary Jose Rizalino Acuzar said, the government slashed by half its target for 4PH program to just 3 million units from the original 6 million units.
Dateline Malacañang.
Philippine President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr. on Tuesday received Papua New Guinea or PNG Ambassador to the Philippines, Betty Palazzo, in a farewell call in Malacañang Palace. The President hopes that both countries will continue to move for stronger trade relations. In their meeting, the chief executive expressed his gratitude for Palazzo's work in strengthening the bilateral relations of the two countries. Palazzo ends her tour of duty in Manila after 5 years. According to the Presidential Communications Office or PCO, President Marcos said he expects Palazzo's successor to continue working on various areas of cooperation, particularly on trade, agriculture, and fisheries. Ambassador Palazzo officially became PNG's envoy to the Philippines on March 19, 2019. The Philippines was among the first countries to establish formal diplomatic relations with PNG, which was declared and recognized as a sovereign nation on September 16, 1975, after 70 years of Australian administration. The two nations will mark the 50th anniversary of bilateral relations next year. Meanwhile, President Marcos Jr. commended outgoing Swedish ambassador to the Philippines, Annika Thunborg, for her crucial role in improving Manila and Stockholm's relations. The President expressed his gratitude for the support Sweden has shown to the Philippines during Thunborg's farewell call at Malacañang Palace in Manila. The chief executive said it is important for the Philippines to form an alliance with Sweden, which he said is a friend to the Philippines. Ambassador Thunborg told President Marcos the importance of forging a strong partnership with like-minded partners such as the Philippines. Thunborg was appointed as Sweden's ambassador to the Philippines in 2021. She is the second Swedish ambassador to be assigned to the Philippines since the embassy reopened in Manila in 2016. Diplomatic relations between the Philippines and Sweden were established on January 17, 1947.
Dateline Malacañang.
Philippine President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr. on Wednesday led the turnover ceremony of the 782 million pesos worth of heavy equipment for the National Irrigation Administration or NIA in Mexico, Pampanga Province. Distributed were 148 units of heavy equipment such as excavators, dump trucks, and truck tractors with trailers to all NIA regional offices in the whole country. In his speech during the event, the President said the distribution is part of the government's investment in the aspect of irrigation in light of the continuous commitment of the government to support the agriculture sector. The chief executive hopes the equipment given to NIA would help improve irrigation in the country. In relation to this, President Marcos said 1 billion pesos is allocated for the last and third tranche of the refleeting program of NIA, which will be given next year. In December of 2023, 141 excavators were given to NIA as part of the first tranche of the refleeting program. Let us now listen to the speech of Philippine President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr.
Maraming salamat sa ating kalihim ng Department of Agriculture, Secretary Kiko Laurel, sa iyong pagpakilala. Please magsiupo po tayo. Nandito rin po the House Speaker who was instrumental in making sure that the budget was restored so that we are able to do this. At napakahalaga nito. At pasalamat tayo sa ating House Speaker, Speaker Martin Romualdez. Andito rin, siyempre, kailangan natin batiin ang ating NIA Administrator Engineer Eddie Guillen. Andito rin po ang ating Pampanga Governor, Governor Delta is also here. And together with the Vice Governor, Vice Governor Nana Baby Pineda, Municipal Mayor of Mexico, Pampanga, Mayor Redencio Gonzalez, and of course, ang talagang pinuntahan natin dito at kayo talaga ang magiging aming inaasahan na tutulong at gagamitin lahat itong mga gamit na ito at gagamitin para mas pagandahin ang ating irigasyon, ang ating patubig sa buong Pilipinas, ang ating mga Irrigators Association at ang ating farmers beneficiaries. My fellow workers in government, and of course, our partners in the private sector, ladies and gentlemen, magandang umaga po sa inyo lahat. Today, we witness the turnover of the second tranche of the operations and maintenance equipment under the National Irrigation Administration 3-year refleeting program. Itong programang ito, this is a realization of our commitment to the efficient and effective functioning of our irrigation systems. This goes beyond the provisions of just the provisions of new machinery. It also empowers our NIA regional offices, the irrigators associations, our farmer beneficiaries to ensure the sustainability of our irrigation systems to avoid losses and to promote more efficient use of water resources that will in turn produce better and more crops. Last December 2023, we distributed 141 units of excavators amounting to an estimated 776 million pesos. That was the first tranche, turned over to the 17 NIA regional offices. Now, these equipments are now being used for the rehabilitation, preventive maintenance, and repair of irrigation facilities. Today, we distribute 148 units of heavy equipment such as excavators, dump trucks, tractors with trailers to the NIA regional offices around the country. By 2025, we will roll out the third tranche of equipment amounting to around 1 billion pesos. This investment in our irrigation infrastructure attests to our unwavering commitment to supporting the backbone of our economy, the agricultural sector. Through our refleeting program, we can instantly repair and build more irrigation facilities that were damaged by natural calamities, stand strong against the challenges of shifting climate change. It is more important now as many parts of the country are still recovering from the onslaught of Typhoon Karina and Buchoy. Of course, the provision of these machineries is just one of the NIA's efforts to ensure food security. Its bigger role is in the provision of water for crops through the construction and repair of irrigation facilities. With these machines and with this equipment to optimize our irrigation systems, the NIA has provided services to more than half of our national irrigation systems and communal irrigation systems. In areas where dam construction is not feasible or where there is a need to pump water to irrigate farmlands, the NIA has provided renewable, energy-driven irrigation systems. We will not stop to find solutions that work for our farmers. We remain steadfast in our efforts to employ sustainable technologies to meet our irrigation needs. Sa ating mga magsasaka, saksi tayo ngayon sa isang bagong yugto sa pagsulong ng irigasyon at agrikultura sa ilalim ng isang bagong Pilipinas. Ating pinapalawig ang mga makabagong pamamaraan sa pagsasaka at sa patubig. Pinapalakas ang ugnayan sa pagitan ng ating mga magsasaka at ng pamahalaan. At binibigyan natin ng suporta ang ating mga magsasaka upang makamit ninyo ang inyong mga pangarap at adhikain. Bilang kapalit, sana po ay patuloy po kayong magpupursige upang paunlarin ang inyong mga sakahan at nang sa gayon ay magbunga ng masaganang ani ang inyong mga pagsisikap. Tunay nga po na basta sama-sama, mapapatagumpay natin ang kahit anumang pagsubok. Sa ating pagkakaisa, lalo pa sa ating pagpapalakas ng sektor ng agrikultura para sa kinabukasan ng ating bansa. Nais ko rin na malaman ninyo ang kailanman, hindi po namin kayo pababayaan. Habang pinauunlad at ginagawa nating moderno ang sektor ng agrikultura, hindi natin kinakalimutan at iiwanan ang bawat magsasakang Pilipino. Patuloy po tayong naghahanap ng mga solusyon upang mapabuti ang gawaing pagsasaka at mapataas ang inyong ani at ang inyong kita. Kaya tayo po ay magtulungan upang makamit ang isang maunlad at masaganang bagong Pilipinas.
You just heard Philippine President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr.
Dateline Malacañang.
Philippine President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr. on Wednesday led the inauguration of the 7.57 billion peso Integrated Disaster Risk Reduction and Climate Change Adaptation Project Stage 1 or IDRR-CCA-1 in the town of Masantol in the province of Pampanga. In his speech, the President said the project would benefit the towns of Macabebe, Masantol, Minalin, and Santo Tomas. Funded through the Official Development Assistance or ODA from the Republic of Korea, the project aims to increase and improve the capacity of the Third River, Eastern Branch River, Kaduang Tete River, and Sapang Maragul River, all tributaries of the Pampanga River. The project includes excavation, dredging and widening of river channels, as well as the construction of embankments to enhance flood control. In addition, the project involves the construction of 3 new bridges, 5 footbridges, 8 sluice gate structures, and 164 fish pond gates. The chief executive also thanked the South Korean government for its technical assistance in realizing the project. President Marcos likewise instructed the Department of Public Works and Highways, or DPWH, to ensure that the second phase of the project will proceed as scheduled to fully realize the project's benefits and provide long-term solutions to flooding in Pampanga. Let us listen to the speech of Philippine President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr.
With us today is House Speaker, Speaker Martin Romualdez. Of course, His Excellency, the Ambassador of the Republic of Korea to the Philippines, His Excellency Lee Sang-hwa. Pampanga 4th District Representative Ana York Bondok, who is whose district is the beneficiary of this very important and very extensive, large project for flood control. Patrol Party List Representative George Bustos. Pampanga Provincial Governor Dennis Padilla has also joined us. Masantol Municipal Mayor Jose Antonio Bustos, and all the other local chief executives and local officials present. My fellow workers in government, ladies and gentlemen, magandang umaga po sa inyong lahat. It is with great pleasure that I join you here today to inaugurate the Integrated Disaster Risk Reduction and Climate Change Adaptation Project, Stage 1, a project made possible with the help from our friends in the Korean government, and as a response to the eruption of Mount Pinatubo in June 1991 that spewed massive amounts of volcanic ash that covered vast swaths of the province of Pampanga. This led to heavy siltation along the streams, rivers, all the waterways, decreasing the discharge capacities and causing heavy flooding during the rainy season, especially in the low-lying municipalities of Macabebe, Masantol, Minalin, and Santo Tomas. The province has also suffered perennial loss of life and damage to properties due to heavy flooding. So it had to be addressed through the construction of these flood control structures. In response, the Philippine government, with the technical and financial assistance of the Korean government, developed a study which became the foundation for the construction of structural measures that we now have the privilege to inaugurate. The IDRR CCA-1 costs more than 7 billion pesos, and it aims to mitigate flood damage by increasing the discharge capacity of the Third River, the Eastern Branch River, the Sapang Maragul River, and the Caduang Tete River. To fully realize the project's benefits and provide long-term solutions to flooding here in Pampanga, I am now instructing the Department of Public Works and Highways to ensure that Stage 2 of the IDRR CCA will be proceeding as scheduled. I have the assurance, as we were looking at the floodgates and the technical explanation of what this is, the ambassador assures me that the planning and the technical examination for Stage 2 has already begun. Maraming salamat po. Once it is fully completed, the IDRR CCA will reduce the flood level and flood duration from 68 days to 17 days in the municipalities of Macabebe, Masantol, Minalin, and Santo Tomas. We are very optimistic that this will redound to improving the people's lives by enhancing the disaster resilience of all our communities. The DPWH has also completed several other flood control projects here in Region 3. Among these is the construction of a flood control structure at the Pampanga River in Gabaldon, Nueva Ecija. The flood control structure cost around 85 million pesos, was completed last May. Another completed project is the rehabilitation of the eroded bank of the Pampanga River at Kandanting, Arayat. And that project was cost 91 million pesos, was completed in October of last year. So let me assure all that the government, through the Public Works, will expeditiously complete the ongoing flood control projects here in Region 3. However, this is only half of the solution. Flood control projects are meant to help minimize the effects of flooding, and they will help in reducing the size of the areas affected, decreasing the height of the flood, and shortening the time for flooding to subside. With climate change and with the effects of an increasing overpopulation, we expect that we will experience more and more of these historic flooding events. For flood control to work, we must do our part in maintaining our canals and waterways and in recycling and properly disposing of our garbage. Rest assured that this government is working and doing all it can to pursue initiatives and programs to protect our citizens and the environment, to innovate current trends in disaster risk reduction and management, as well as to ensure heightened climate responsibility and justice. But our local government units and our citizens also have an extremely important role to play. At this juncture, let me once again thank our friends from the Korean government for their help in completing this important stage 1 of the IDRR CCA project. Let us continue to explore other areas of cooperation that will uplift both our countries and the lives of our people. Let me extend also my gratitude to the officials and the people of the province of Pampanga, whose solidarity and collaboration has resulted in the successful completion of the IDRR CCA-1. I also acknowledge the efforts of the Department of Public Works and Highways and everyone who has worked on the completion of this grand project. It demonstrates the government's commitment to delivering quality, safe, and environmentally friendly infrastructure to all Filipinos. Thank you, and let this occasion mark the beginning of a new era of sustainable progress for Pampanga and for the Philippines.
You just heard Philippine President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr.
Dateline Malacañang.
Philippine Amusement and Gaming Corporation or PAGCOR chairperson Alejandro Tenco confirmed that the 20 million peso award for two-time Olympic gold medalist Carlos Yulo will come from its funds. According to Tenco, under Republic Act or RA 10699 or the National Athletes, Coaches and Trainers Benefits and Incentives Act, it is their mandate to provide benefits and incentives to national athletes who win in major international competitions. According to the law, gold medalists will receive 10 million pesos, 5 million pesos for silver medalists, and 2 million pesos for bronze medalists. The funding will be taken out from PAGCOR's National Sports Development Fund. Meanwhile, President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr. said, Yulo deserves everything that anyone wants to give him. In a media interview in Pampanga Province, the president said, once he gets the chance to talk to the Olympian, he will consult the two-time Olympic gold medalist to help the government come up with the needed reforms to improve the country's sports program and produce more world-class athletes.
Well, why not? Yeah, I don't see why not. You know, he deserves everything that anybody is willing to give him. Actually, dahil may monetary reward na siya kung saan nanggagaling, ang talagang pagka nagkita kami, itatanong ko sa kanya, ano pa maitutulong ng pamahalaan para mas dumami ang ating mga medalists sa Olympics. At nadaanan niya lahat yan. He went to the Tokyo Olympics.
He has now won his 2 gold medals in the Paris Olympics. That kung ano pa ang aming gagawin. Because alam naman natin, itong mga atleta, hindi lang ang sarili ang kanilang iniisip, kundi pagandahin pa at maging mas maganda pa ang performance dun sa sport nila at sa buong sport ng Pilipinas. So that is really, I think, a more significant effort. And that's why I will ask Kaloy Yulo kung ano ba talaga sa palagay niya. Ano pang pwedeng gawin ng pamahalaan para dumami ang ating No, I'm going to ask him what can we do. He has already 20 million, he has already, I don't know, I think, if he needs siguro siya mangangailangan ng pera, pero para sa akin, ang interest ko, dumami ang medalist kagaya niya. Anong kailangan gawin? Do we have to change the organization? Do we have to, kung it needs to be funded? Si Kaloy Luisaga is going to go. Ay, sorry. yun ang pinakakilala kong Kaloy. So, Kaloy Yulo, I think he will continue to greater heights in sport. Dahil matagal na siyang world champion eh. Dapat yung Tokyo, dapat nanalo na siya, nadagalang eh. Pero ngayon, nakita natin ang tunay ng kakayahan. And again, I think he will be the best person to ask what else it is that we can do.
Philippine President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr.
Dateline Malacañang.
Philippine President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr. does not agree with the senator's call to suspend the Public Utility Vehicle or PUV modernization program. In a media interview in Pampanga Province, the president said the program was not rushed. In fact, the government has listened to the appeals of unconsolidated PUV drivers and operators 7 times. Currently, 80% have already consolidated and support the implementation of the PUV modernization program.
I disagree with them because sinasabi nila minadali. This has been postponed 7 times. The modernization has been postponed for 7 times. And those that have been objecting or have been crying out and been asking for suspension are in the minority. 80% have already consolidated. So paano naman? Yung 20% ang magde-decide yung buhay ng 100%. So pakinggan natin yung majority. At ang majority sinasabi, ituloy natin. So that's what we will do.
Philippine President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr. Meanwhile, the Land Transportation Franchising and Regulatory Board, or LTFRB, thanked the Chief Executive for supporting the Public Transport Modernization Program, or PTMP, and rejecting the calls for its suspension. In a statement Wednesday, LTFRB Chair Chofilo Guadis III said, President Marcos's support shows the importance of modernizing the country's public transportation for increased safety, efficiency, and sustainability. Guadis said the PTMP is vital in addressing the evolving needs of commuters and ensuring a more reliable and eco-friendly public transportation network.
Dateline Malacañang.
Philippine President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr. on Thursday joined the Philippine National Police, or PNP, in celebrating its 123rd Police Service Anniversary at Camp Crame in Quezon City. With the theme, Sa Bagong Pilipinas, ang gusto ng pulis, ligtas ka, or in English, in the new Philippines, the police wants you to be safe. This year's commemoration centers on the PNP's century-long accomplishments that continuously ensured the safety and well-being of Filipinos across the nation. It also highlights the PNP's commitment towards further strengthening the capabilities and image of the police force under the vision of a bagong Pilipinas. In his speech, the President hailed the PNP for conducting lawful, humane, and bloodless police operations in its bid to weed out criminality. The Chief Executive also said the strong determination of the police force to maintain peace, security, and harmony across the country. Let us listen to the speech of Philippine President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr. during the event.
Thank you to the Secretary of the Department of Interior and Local Government, Secretary Ben-Hur Abalos, for his introduction. Please take your seats. The Excellencies of the Diplomatic Corps who have joined us here this morning, National Security Council Secretary Ed Año, the NAPOLCOM Vice Chairperson and Executive Officer Alberto Bernardo, and the other heads of government agencies that are present with us, the Philippine National Police Chief, Police General Romel Francisco Marbil, AFP Chief of Staff General Romy Browner, the officers, non-commissioned personnel, and civilian employees of the PNP, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. It is with pleasure that I join you today to be with our country's brave peacekeepers and protectors as we celebrate the 123rd Police Service Anniversary. For over a century, our police force has stood as guardians of peace, of order, and safety in our communities, ensuring the well-being, the security, and the dignity of every Filipino. This noble work is perfectly captured in this year's commemoration theme, Sa Bagong Pilipinas, ang gusto ng pulis, ligtas ka, which banners the PNP's aspirations in this new chapter of our nation's history. Not only does this speak of our law enforcers' commitment to ensure the welfare of our people, but it also advocates for a more profound transformation in the image of the police under a bagong Pilipinas. Sa ilalim ng bagong Pilipinas, ang ating mga kapulisan ay maaasahan, malalapitan, at mapagkakatiwalaan. Malakas ang kumpiyansa at matatag ang ugnayan sa pagitan ng pulisya at sa sambayanan. At tayong lahat ay nagkakaisa sa ating mithiing makamit ang isang mas mapayapa at maunlad na bayan. I acknowledge the strong determination of our police to maintain peace, security, and harmony in our beloved country. I salute all of the officers and personnel of the PNP under the current leadership of Police General Romel Marbil. His tenure over the past months has been filled with noteworthy reforms and achievements that we can proudly present to the Filipino public. Under General Marbil, the police have taken aggressive steps towards sustaining the gains of peace and order that we have collectively and painstakingly worked hard for. The PNP has intensified its patrol operations and increased police deployment, contributing to a notable drop in crime rates, particularly in what was formerly crime-prone areas. Under your leadership, the police has responded to nearly all, or to quote the actual number, 99% of the calls for police assistance. Last May 30, we operationalized the PNP Cybersecurity Operations Center to intensify our cyber patrolling. This initiative enhances our police cybersecurity capabilities, thus ensuring that the police can handle the complexities of cyber crimes. Our crackdown on illegal drugs, smuggling, illegal gambling, private armed groups, human trafficking, and criminality has also strengthened significantly in the ways that are not only effective, but legal and lawful. Indeed, police operations are now conducted as humane, as truthful, and as bloodless as possible. Lastly, your joint operations with the AFP
on internal security have led to the neutralization of close to 2,000 or 1,951 members of local and communist terrorist groups. These achievements were made possible because the PNP's resolve to uphold the rule of law and the unparalleled dedication and service of our police officers, led, of course, by our Chief PNP, General Marbil. To PNP Chief Marbil, you carry on your shoulders the honorable task of leading this paradigm shift, this transformation that we are doing not only for the police, but for the entire society of the Philippines, wherein our police are not feared, but welcome in our communities, wherein communities work with the police out of trust, not mere compliance, and where citizens themselves become partners, vigilant partners against crime. In carrying out this task, the police needs to be disciplined, transparent, and fair. Erring and corrupt police personnel will face the appropriate sanctions. Remember, your mandate and place in public safety and service is at the core of your duty. I also urge all police personnel to support the leadership of the PNP. I trust that you will sustain your current initiatives and take care of the people's increasing confidence in the PNP's abilities. So as we commemorate your anniversary, we commend your sacrifices, hard work, and genuine service for the country. Remember that your tasks, regardless of magnitude or gravity, leave an impact on the lives of our people. And to all our awardees this year, my sincerest congratulations on your well-deserved recognition. May you serve as an inspiration for others to serve our people with integrity, excellence, and utmost dedication. To all the officers and personnel of the PNP, rest assured, we are prioritizing your welfare and also that of your families. This administration remains committed to supporting the PNP through the Comprehensive Capability Enhancement Program. We will also continue to provide additional logistical resources and advanced information technology tools to further empower our police force. As long as we are united by our common goal of protecting our people and ensuring that the rule of law reigns supreme, we are on track towards a safe, secure, and empowered Bagong Pilipinas. Once again, a happy 123rd anniversary to the Philippine National Police. Mabuhay ang ating kapulisan, mabuhay ang Bagong Pilipinas.
You just heard Philippine President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr.
Dateline Malacañang.
And finally, Philippine President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr. on Thursday led the signing of an alliance between his party, the Partido Federal ng Pilipinas or PFP, and the Nacionalista Party or NP, led by former Senate President Manuel Manny Villar in a ceremony at Brittany Hall in Taguig City. In his speech, the president said, "It is very gratifying that big, influential, and historical national parties in the country are heeding his call for unity, which he said was the key for us to move forward." The chief executive said, "The PFP seeks unity with influential political parties such as the NP, the oldest political party in the Philippines, to better orchestrate the collective priorities and plans for the nation." President Marcos said the shared goal of improving the Filipinos' lives would only be realized if the political parties in the country stand united. Let us listen to the speech of Philippine President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr. during the event.
For many months now, we have forged alliances with some of the most influential parties that have led the country in recent years. to better orchestrate our collective priorities and plans for the nation, the PFP is working closely with our colleagues from the Lakas Christian Muslim Democrats, the National People's Coalition, the National Unity Party, and today, we have the opportunity to forge another partnership that will broaden the grand coalition working under the banner of Bagong Pilipinas. We declare, as the PFP, we declare officially its collaboration with the Nacionalista Party through the signing of our alliance. With this, we form a strong united front that will help us fulfill our shared goal for the Filipino people. And I'm sure everyone will agree that our goal is to strengthen the foundation of our nation to better serve our people. At kaya naman ating ginagawa ito. Dahil patuloy ang we are continuing to answer the call for unity. And this is what I always explain to people. This is, of course, this is in preparation for the midterm elections. But nonetheless, it is something that we have been talking about during the presidential campaign. Ang ating sigaw ay ang pagkakaisa, unity. And that continuing call for unity remains. And that is why it is very gratifying to see that the significant, the big and influential and historical national parties of the Philippines have come to answer that call for unity. And it is very clear, in my view, and I think it has now been manifested, has now been demonstrated by these alliances, that it is also an understanding, it is also a consensus between our leaderships, the leaders of our country, that unity is the key for us to move forward. If we are spending our time, our resources, and our energy with opposing one another for political means, then we have very little time, resources, and energy left for transforming our country into a better place, to transforming the lives of our people. And to say that we came into office, and when we leave office, that we leave the Philippines a better country, and we leave the Filipinos in a better condition than we found them when we first came into office. That is the aspiration. That is the dream. And it can only be achieved through a unified effort by everyone. And there is nothing more that we can do but to continue to work for that dream. And this alliance now with the Nacionalista Party, as I said, is a very natural alliance. Ang ating ginawa ngayong araw, dahil kailangan ma-formalize at institutionalize, ngunit kahit wala yung pagpirmahan, napakalapit na at napakatibay na ng pagsasama ng NP at lahat sa mga PFP. Magkaya ng nabanggit ni Sen Manny, ang aking ama ay tumakbo bilang Pangulo under Nacionalista Party. At ako naman, nung ako tumakbo na ng national office, ay nationalista pa rin. At lagi ko namang sinasabi, at hindi ako yung nangingilala naman ng utang na loob. Sinasabi ko kung hindi sa NP, hindi ako naging presidente. Kaya talagang malaki ang utang na loob ko sa tulong na ginawa ng NP. That makes it a very natural alliance. Umalis lang ako sa NP dahil tatakbo kong presidente, nagmamadali ako. At NP was still, the Nacionalista Party leadership was still trying to assess what will be the political situation for the last political cycles of election ng 2022. Sabi ko sa kanila, wala naman kaming hindi kami nagkasundo. Dahil ako'y nagmamadali. At sinasabi nila, well, wala tayong magagawa. Ang iniisip ng partido ay siyempre lahat ng miyembro at ang buong partido. Ako naman, ang inaalala ko, ang kandidatura ko. Kaya nagkaganyan. Ngunit, although technically, I do not belong to the Nationalista Party. I now am with the PFP. The alliances between, especially on a personal level, not only with me, but with the members of PFP and the members of the NP, ay hindi talaga nabawasan yung katibayan na yun. And that is what we are formalizing here. So I'm very, very happy to have that we are today formalizing that alliance, and that alliance now has formed the largest political bloc in the Philippines. And that political bloc, where kung saan man tayo nanggaling, ay tayo'y nagkita-kita dahil sa pagkakasunduan natin na ang kailangan ng Pilipinas ang kailangan nating gawin para pagandahin ang Pilipinas, para pagandahin ang buhay ng bawat Pilipino, ang kailangan nating gawin ay sama-sama tayo, dapat kapit-bisig tayo na nagtutulungan, at hindi para lamang sa ating partido, hindi para lamang sa ating mga sarili, kung hindi talaga sa serbisyo para sa ating mga kababayan. Patuloy din, kaya tamang-tama, dahil nga ang kasabihan sa NP ay higit sa lahat ang bayan. At yan ang ating sinusundan na pag-iisip. And that is why we are here today to formalize this relationship and to prepare ourselves to make sure that the leadership that will come out, that will win after the election of or the midterm election the next year, are the leaders who understand that we must put our partisan, our personal differences aside, whatever they may be. Merong malaki, merong maliit. Ngunit ay mahalaga, ang pinakamahalaga ay magkasundo tayo kung ano man ang pinakamaganda para matulungan natin ang ating mga kababayan. Yan ang ating gagawin at sabay-sabay nating gagawin. At inuuna natin lagi ang ating mga kababayan. Inuuna lagi natin ang Pilipinas. Kaya tayo nandito, kaya ako'y nagpapasalamat sa ating mga kasamahan sa nasyonalista na tayo ay nagkaroon na ng formal alliance, at ngayon ay paghandaan na natin na mailagay natin, matulungan natin ang mga kilala natin na talagang iniisip lamang ay hindi ang politika, hindi ang partido, hindi ang sarili, kung hindi ang ating minamahal na Pilipinas.
You just heard Philippine President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr.
Dateline Malacañang.
Before we conclude our program, Radio Pilipinas World Service of the Presidential Broadcast Service is heard over the following shortwave frequencies: 15.640 MHz, 17.820 MHz, and 12.010 MHz. You can also visit our Facebook page and YouTube channel at Radio Pilipinas World Service. You will be able to hear and view our Filipino and English programs, including news updates here in the Philippines. Kindly subscribe, like, and share our posts as well. And that concludes this edition of Dateline Malacañang in Review. For Radio Pilipinas World Service, this is Leo Magpayo. Good day and stay safe.
From the Presidential Palace, Manila, Dateline Malacañang.